Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
And I did not have the right channel open on Discord. Hello, everybody. This stream's going so well so far. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Game Over Vancouver. I'm Kaja. I'm here with Casey. The Canucks won 5-2 tonight against the St. Louis Blues. Everything for the Canucks went right tonight. Everything for the stream tonight did not go so right. And before we get into everything that happened, shift into hyperdrive and get ready to have some fun with your new source for all the biggest stories in hockey, bringing a unique style of broadcasting and commentary with a Quebecois flavor. Hyperdrive Hockey combines top-tier hockey analysis, big stories, pop culture, and a damn fun atmosphere that will drive debate, make you think, and more. Join Max Van Oot, Daphne Malbeuf, and Kevin Laramie every Monday and Thursday for your fill on the hockey world. Watch on YouTube on the Game Over Network channel, or subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or Amazon. Head to our website, thegameovernetwork.com, for more. Yeah, and also you could watch me be an absolute hater. Anyway, Casey, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Yeah. How are you after we got through all that live stream drama for no reason?
I have no idea what happened. I apologize to everyone who was waiting for the last stream. I love Mr. Wilkins in the chat. That old link sucked anyway. Thank you. I appreciate that. Convincing win. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I mean, if I sound awful, I am getting over a cold, so I apologize. But yeah, the Vancouver Canucks, they get a win not on a Saturday for the first time since January 2nd. Like, that was the last time I think they won on a day that wasn't Saturday.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
The only other wins were Toronto, Edmonton, and Washington on Saturday, so
yeah.
The Canucks are no longer stupid. Well, I mean, they did win the game, but let's not plan the cup parade just yet. I've never said anything bad about the Vancouver Canucks. Oh, lordy. Okay, but yeah, I mean, it was a very decent performance from the start. Connor Garland keeps putting up, he's, I think, yeah, he's third in points right now for the team.
Wow.
He's above Patterson.
I wouldn't have really guessed that before tonight, honestly, because a lot of times I feel like I watch a game and I'm like, oh, was Garley even playing? Because you just don't hear his name. But that's a lot of the Canucks, though, not just him, I guess. But
yeah, he let me just double check that is still correct. Yeah. Oh, wait. Brock Besser is third now. My apologies. Brock. Connor Garland is now fourth in Canucks points, but Brock Besser just got into that top spot because he was fifth, I believe, before. So yeah. I mean, Quinn Hughes obviously leading, and then 21 points behind him is JT Miller in second. So that's how the Canucks are going tonight. Connor Garland, after an amazing feed from Quinn Hughes, and also an amazing job by Jake DeBrusk on that play, Connor Garland gets the first goal, goes across the crease, makes Binnington look like Binnington. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. That man sucks. He's like, I'm a goalie defender. There are certain goalies I do not defend. That's one of them. And then right off the bat, off the face-off, Connor... Oh, we're gonna get into first back-to-back wins, Elfriend. Don't you worry. Before we get into the second Connor Garland goal, and also the waved-off St. Louis goal, what did you think about the fight, or fight in quotation marks, between JT Miller and Braden Shen?
I'm glad you said in quotation marks, because yeah, I'm very similar. I don't know, I just like... My thing is just like, if you're gonna fight. I get Braden Shen is like...
No, that's the Pettersson trade package.
Yeah. I feel like he's like kind of that type of person to fight, but like not really. So it was kind of like a not really fight in my eyes, I feel. I don't know. And it's also just like when they happen in like the span of 3 seconds, I'm like, okay, that was just a waste of time. But
Yeah,
it was good. It was good energy at least though. So
yeah, it was. I mean, Braden Shen, captain of the St. Louis Blues, his brother, Canucks legend Luke Shen. Um, I, yeah, I didn't. That fight was not really a fight. You could call it that. It was Braden Shen absolutely, basically ragdolling JT Miller. Like rips his helmet off in one go, which like impressive. Um, I mean, if that was put onto like hockey TikTok, you know what the comments would be on that one. Sorry. We're like what, 10 minutes in, I'm already making a book talk joke, not even 10 minutes in. Um yeah, there's he rips it off. JT Miller goes down. I thought that he was called aside back to the room for like protocol reasons because I thought he was talking to the bench. I think it's just because he had some blood on his face and
mm,
rules about that. But yeah,
yeah.
that was I think it was just Braden Shen trying his best. I
Yeah,
mean,
and
I
I
don't
even
blame him.
think like JT probably had just had like this could benefit me right now. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like benefit with the vibes kind of thing. But
Yeah, just like up his stocks basically. Like, oh yeah, you want Filipino and I don't know who's the. There's another ranger that's like always in the talks, but it's always Filipino for some reason. I'm like, no, no, give me Alexi Lafreniere, give me that. Um, Braden could tell Luke, hey, Brig brother, I fought your former teammate. You ragdolled him, Braden. Jeez. But yeah, Braden Chad, they kept pointing the camera to him, and he just looked sad on the bench, and I'm like, is this like the face-off between the sad captains? Because like they also got Quinn Hughes dissociating heavily for a while. I mean, that's just Miller's face was a magnet for the second
I
punch
just
thrown.
saw a
Yes.
video. I feel like it's like a Quinn Hughes interview. I don't know if it was from tonight, but it was from when they were on Amazon one night. It's just like him like staring dead like into the camera. And I just can't. He's just
He's yeah. Honestly, he gets to dissociate. He's carrying this entire team on his back.
yes,
Um,
definitely.
the only point per game Vancouver Canuck. Um, Later on in the period, there's a goal that gets waved off because was it Holloway, the one of the oh what was it called offer sheets that St. Louis did for an Edmonton Oilers player in this off season. Holloway
Yeah.
shoves Hughes into Kevin Lankinen, and there's a goal that gets waved off that would have tied the game for St. Louis. St. Louis goes
Mhm.
back and challenges it, and like I trust Jim Montgomery, like he's like a pretty good coach. Um but like if it's already waved off on the ice, I don't know how much of a chance you had. Did you at any point think that that goal was going to count or
No, I didn't.
no? Yeah. Because I'm like, it's pretty obvious a blue is the reason that the goaltender was out of position because he threw the defenseman onto the goaltender.
Yeah.
And, like, especially when it comes to goaltender interference, you don't want to mess with that, I think.
Mm-mm.
Because just how up in the air it is. Anyway, Connor Garland off the power play that the Canucks get after the not allowed goal gets confirmed as a not allowed goal. St. Louis gets a delay of game penalty for causing the challenge. And Connor Garland scores on that, which St. Louis must have loved. Connor Garland's just making an enemy of like most teams in the NHL these days. Edmonton, St. Louis now. Next, it's going to be. We play Nashville next, but like. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be random like Utah. I don't know when we play Utah
Yeah.
next, but. Yeah, Connor Garland on the power play from Elias Pettersson, who gets his only point of the night, but I think he did have a pretty good night. Had like a lot of shots on net. Let me just check how many shots. He had 7 shots on net, so he was trying. But he does get the assist on that goal, and then Brock Besser, as well. Second period, JT Miller again on the power play scores again, ups his stock. Assisted by, of course, Quinn Hughes, because who else? It was a bit of a rush chance. Guess who the second assist was on that goal?
I just saw that. I did hear they said like because I was like making supper while I was watching the game, and I heard them say like what a great play by Lankinen too. So that's awesome.
Kevin Lankinen with his first point of the season. Congratulations. He has more than Vinny Desharnais. I'm just kidding. I mean, he might. I don't know. But yeah, Kevin Lankinen gets an assist on the JT Miller power play goal. Good for him. It's 3-0 Canucks. Dylan Holloway, previously aforementioned for rendering a St. Louis goal useless, gets it back. He's a phenomenal player, having a great year with the Blues. And yeah, he scores on the power play. Was that the high sticking power play, or is that no, it was a different one. Yeah, it was when Tyler Myers trips Dylan Holloway. So he draws the penalty, gets the goal. And then a little bit later on, Lankinen has more points than Noah Juleson. Fun. Yeah, a little bit later on, Niels Höglander high-sticking double minor against Robert Thomas, and Robert Thomas may have lost a tooth there. He was bleeding, which is why that gets the double minor. It was a really late call on that, though. Like, I understand, maybe I just didn't notice the whole delayed penalty arm up type thing, but what was your take on that? Like, how much they delayed the call for that play specifically?
Yeah, I'm not like I don't know if it was because was it behind the play at all or was it right in the because it was in the corners, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of I'm trying to remember now. Like Höglander just wasn't controlling his stick properly, I think, and it came up and hit him. So I can't remember where the puck was. I don't remember if it was behind the play. Because there was another one where it was a follow through. Derek Forbert, I think, hit Kyrou in the face, and Kyrou was.
Oh yes, I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I did see that one too.
Yeah, that was in the third, I think. But yeah, anyway, 4-minute power play. Kudos to the penalty kill tonight, because not only do they only let St. Louis go 1 for 5 on the power play, because the Canucks just really like sitting in the penalty box, I guess. I mean, yeah, we already had to deal with that the other night with Vincent Desharnais. Thank you very much, sir. Yes. But yeah, not only do they restrict the St. Louis power play to 1 out of 5, Pius Suter, or Prius Suter, whatever you want to call him, gets the shorty. Tyler Myers gets an assist on that. Yeah, I think the second shorthanded goal of the season.
Oh wow.
For the team overall, not just for Suter. It's
not just like him, for the whole team.
No, it's Kiefer Sherwood has one, and Pius Suter has the other one. That's it. Should we be worried about that, or should we just...
Shorthanded goals are so crazy because some teams are actually just so good at it. But yeah, I guess it all just comes down to penalty kill being good. But like, I don't know, because I wonder if people, like, if the coaches ever think, like, we have bigger fish to fry right now than trying to get, like, shorthanded goals. But shorthanded goals are always awesome, of course, but...
Yeah, I mean, they are pretty awesome. I do think that, like, the penalty kill without trying to score is still pretty good. It is cool when it happens, though. I don't know. I did play-by-play for a game last weekend, and there was a penalty where the opposing team had 2 shorthanded goals on the same power play for the other team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. Third period, Blues trying to put pressure on to get back into it. Colton Parayko with his 11th of the year. Matthew Joseph gets the assist on that one. And they pulled the goalie with, like, it was kind of early-ish, sort of, like 4-ish minutes. I feel like it was
around almost, like, 3 minutes and 30 seconds left that I, like, sometimes I don't notice when the goalie's pulled until, like, I'm, like, looking actively at the clock. But yeah, I feel like I was like, oh, okay, like, that's kind of early and we're trying still, but that's good, I guess. Like
there's a chance. There's a chance that happens. because it's the Vancouver Canucks. I think they gave up 2 goals, or they gave up 2 multi-goal leads during Amazon games. So,
Yeah.
like, Sharks and the Habs game as well, I believe, were both Amazon games, and both times they gave up.
Oh my God. What a bad stat. Let's never be on Amazon again.
Yeah, pretty, like, that was my thought. I'm like, we can't play games. But no, we actually held a lead for this one. Because even though they have the goalie pulled, Tyler Myers gets the empty netter, his 3rd of the season. Pia Suter returns the favor after Myers assisted on the shorthanded goal. Tyler Myers had a 2-point night. Like, he was 3rd star of the night. Connor Garland was 1st with 2 goals. Pia Suter a goal and an assist for 2nd, and then Tyler Myers 3rd star, goal and assist.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah, I agree with the Tyler Myers chance. We should definitely do that the next home game we have in 5 years. And take away the clumsiness of being tall comes with he's a really good player. He is a good player. Like, this is the reason why he's been in the Vancouver top 4, basically, for 5 years now.
Yeah, and I feel like he's just like a core piece. I feel like as a society, we're over making fun of Tyler Myers, hopefully, and he's just like a core piece of the Canucks. Like, just let him be, and he's great.
Mm-hmm. There are bigger issues that we have on our defensive end, like Filip Hronek. Anyway, he's just bigger than everyone else. It was easy to see him mess up because haha, chaos giraffe. Exactly, because there's more of him body mass wise to mess up with. Because Amazon said he was 6'6". That man is taller than that, but decides out of nowhere to be elite and other times make decisions behind human comprehension. Yes, Alex, I saw that message in the group chat. But yeah, that is very true. That is very, yeah. Occasionally decides out of nowhere to be elite. I mean, he won a Calder for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
He's the last, I think, good defenseman to win a Calder. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the only one other than him I could think of is Moritz Seider, and just look at the goal he scored on his team tonight. So, was that tonight or the other night? I don't remember. Let me check. Have you seen... Oh, yeah, it was tonight. A goal, he basically hits it into his own net.
Oh my God.
It got tacked on as a Quinton Byfield goal in the first period too.
Oh no.
To make it 2-0. Yeah. Ooh, that was rough. But yeah. Tyler Myers, elite night. JT Miller, energy night. If he had an assist, if he didn't get the assist taken away, he would have had a Gordie Howe hat trick.
Yeah.
So
sweet.
NHL, I am outside your house. I am in your walls. I am under your floorboards. Give that man his assist back. Because, I mean, was that great pass by Myers? It was a great pass by Myers, but wasn't intentional. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, let's just say it was. For Tyler Myers' sake, let's say it was. But... yeah, I mean, overall, it was a good game from the Canucks. They actually showed like they knew how to play hockey for once. And it wasn't just Quinn Hughes doing stuff.
Yes,
it was the whole team. Like, I was so surprised. Quinn Hughes didn't have to score all the goals. He didn't have to create all the goals. He only got 2 assists rather than 5 on all the goals.
Yeah.
I'm proud of the Canucks. They learned how to be a team rather than just the Vancouver Quinn Hugheses. Overall, that's what they are, basically. Quinn Hughes.
No, literally, when he scored, I guess against Washington, I'm like, oh, is this him keeping us together at this point? Like,
yeah, that's all he does.
That's like, all. Don't worry, I got this.
I mean, like, the only Washington Capitals score against the Vancouver Canucks this year is Pierre-Luc Dubois, which I find hilarious. We won because Sherwood's out. I forgot Sherwood was out. Oh, that's bad. I forgot he is out. And maybe that's why Miller had to be the one to fight. That makes sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you think about Elias Pettersson, the second, or Elias Pettersson, because that's how they're
You know,
differentiating
they were
them.
so focused on like Elias and Elias, and they were so
Hmm.
excited about it. But I'm like, honestly, we need that differentiation, I guess. Like,
Well, yeah, because they
but
can't call him DPD.
yeah. But yeah, I thought he was good.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't I don't
he,
remember anything going bad, at least.
I mean,
Is that a good thing to say?
he wasn't super noticeable, but I feel like that's like
Hmm.
the best case scenario because he's like 5. He's younger than me, so he's automatically 5.
He's like,
He was a -1 on the night, but that probably
oh,
doesn't help.
okay.
I mean, he was paired with Carson Soucy, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
so that probably didn't help that. Actually, I'm not 100% sure. It's just that
Oh,
him.
Tyler Myers was +3. Sorry, I
That's
just saw that
so.
stat. He's back.
That's so wild. I had it. I had it booked in. I was like, okay. I was doing my Tim's picks. I'm gonna say this morning. It was this afternoon. Let's be honest here. I was doing my Tim's picks. I put Connor McDavid, and I'm like, yeah, because he's first game back from suspension. He's gonna score. The Canucks make a statement with Tyler Myers. They put out a statement from the Canucks that says, "I'm back." That's it. And honestly, love the meme. Love it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and he makes a statement, "I'm back," and he was back +3, 2 points on the night. What a
We're
man.
back. The Canucks are back now.
He
Tyler
had
Myers is back. We're back.
he was third on the team in shots.
Hmm.
Yeah, he had 5. The
Oh
only two
yeah, okay,
players,
because I saw Connor Garland has
yeah,
yes.
Connor Garland is 6, Elias Pettersson is 7. The next
5. Oh
closest
my
person
god.
is Quinn with 3. Tyler Myers is Michael Jordan. Exactly. Exactly. You know what? Without Tyler Myers, we only won 1 game. With him, we won more games. So therefore, Tyler Myers is the best player. Also, the Canucks had over 20 shots within the first 2 periods.
Wow. I know. I was literally like, I texted my sister after the first period. I was like, did they do some like crazy team bonding on the way down to St. Louis? Because like it's a team again. I feel
Yeah,
vibes are good
they
for
care
now.
about each other. Like what's going
Yeah.
on? I have no idea, but yeah, I mean, it's good to see, definitely. Um but I was really shocked. Yeah, vibes were actually good for once, and the Canucks get, yeah, their first back-to-back win since December 1st, which just hurts my brain a bit, because that was so long ago.
It
That
was.
was so. Mikko Rantanen was still a Colorado Avalanche. Um, yeah. What else? What else was still true on December 1st, 2024? It was 2024. But yeah, Kevin Lankinen also Road Warrior. He is back. 923 save percentage tonight. 24 out of 26 saves made. Um, who do you think starts in Nashville on Wednesday?
Um, the commentators were kind of like thought that you should just stay with Kevin Lankinen until the Four Nations break comes up because there's just like the team is playing well in front of him tonight and just keep that momentum up. And I never even thought of that. I'm like, do they know that Demko's not doing the greatest right now? And that is just like a damper on their I don't know. I'm such like a spiritual person. I'm like a damper on their spirits and like thoughts and like that's why they're not performing. Um but yeah, I'm like that totally makes sense. I'm fine with using Kevin Lankinen as long as he's healthy. I think he must be healthy because he played awesome tonight and he's not sick anymore, hopefully. But yeah, I would think just use Kevin Lankinen until you don't have to. But like I feel like you have to until the Four Nations because that's just when like people take a really big look at like playoffs and everything too. So because yeah, you were saying like how December 1st was a long time ago, but like especially in the hockey world because like things just get so I want to say like concentrated around this time of year just because playoffs are coming up quick. It doesn't seem like it, but they are. So, but yeah, I think keeping up with Kevin Lankinen would be great.
Yeah, I took the standings back to December 1st. The Canucks were in third place in the Pacific Division, behind Vegas and LA, ahead of Edmonton and Calgary. So that puts the picture. Oh, and the Habs were at the bottom of the East, and now they're in the playoff hunt. So if you want a comparison of how that happened, and I like the benchmark of the Four Nations. And like I understand riding the hot hand. Also, Lankinen should start against his former team. He played with Nashville last season. So yeah, I think it would be cool. And I think it's our only game in Nashville this season. Correct me if I'm wrong, but because I know we played Nashville twice at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, I used to watch Nashville quite often, and my biggest thing was that they played UC Saros so much, and I'm just like, and then it just makes me so frustrated when Kevin comes to Vancouver and he's like performing really well. I'm like, Nashville, we could have had this, but no, I didn't even think of that like against his former team. That would be great. I feel too. Yeah, I think he has to get the start.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always good for like putting players that played against that team before. Like I always like that idea, especially as a Rangers fan. Whenever they put Georgiev in net against the Rangers, awesome. But that's mainly because Georgiev can't stop a beach ball sometimes. We have 2 games on St. Louis. Wow. Oh yeah, because they're right behind us in the hunt for the final wildcard spot. We're a point behind the Flames. The Flames do have a game in hand. Oh yeah. If the Canucks beat Nashville, I'm gonna break my diet and get a milkshake. Diets are made up. Yep. DPD on the blue line. Add some height and weight. Finally, not sure if he's big, but looks big on ice. Yeah, I mean, he was named an all-star in the AHL for a reason. So the AHL is still doing an all-star break, which I find so funny because they tweeted, Abbotsford Canucks tweeted last week, Elias Pettersson's an all-star, and I was so confused. They meant the other one. I was like, wait, they're not doing an all-star break. Like, they haven't announced it. Like, where is the all-star game gonna be? They're not doing that. And then I realized.
And you're like, why is Abbotsford tweeting it first?
Exactly true. I was like, Abbotsford. Oh, right, we have 2. Like, I never thought I'd be getting that much, like, that confused with it. And I like how they were differentiating them with the names. But, like, there's still not enough between Elias and Elias, I feel. At least it's better than, because they were talking about how before the Canucks in the past, in the 80s, had 2 Greg Adamses.
Yeah.
You can't really do the same with Greg Adams. Like, that's not really... You can't change that very much. It's already pretty anglicized. You could do Greek? Greek Adams? I don't know.
I remember the Dallas Stars one time just tweeted being like, we've signed goaltender Matt Murray. And everyone was like, what?
Yep.
And then they literally were like, we didn't think we have to clarify, but it's like this Matt Murray. And I think the Murray is actually spelled differently or something. And they are spelled differently, but everyone was like, what? He's in Toronto. And it was just so funny. Like,
I remember that because that also confused me too. I was like, who the hell is this guy? Because I'm like, I didn't remember Matt Murray getting traded to Dallas or getting bought out or anything. Nope. Different dude. It's always so funny. I also get confused. I mean, it's kind of different, but there's Jack Quinn on the Sabres.
Oh, yes. No, when they were playing the other day, I was getting so I'm like, why are they calling Quinn by his first name? Like, I don't know. And then, like, Jack Hughes is in there, too. Like,
I mean, it would be really funny if his middle name's, like, Luke. But anyway, one of the aliases needs to change their name. No, I think it's cool. It's cute. It's unique. It's unique. I think the meme was made better by the fact that we literally drafted him. What else was I going to say? Going back to the Demko point, like, the Canucks aren't playing as well in front of Demko. I feel like that's always been a trend, though, because they always expect him to clean up everything that they mess up. That's been a thing. They left Demko. Elias's name is actually Frederick Elias Pettersson. Okay, you have to clarify which Pettersson that is. I think that's the second one. The repeaty or DPD, whatever you want to call him. I call him the 2004 edition. But yeah, no, yeah, Demko, they don't play, the Canucks don't play as well, I think, because they're so used to him cleaning up their messes. And like he did that a few years ago. This year he's not doing that.
Yeah.
Especially considering he's not been up to his complete form, up to his complete health, whatever's going on. Yeah, and I think they need to, I don't know, maybe just forget whoever they, EP40, what? His first name's Frederick.
I feel like that suits him, actually.
No. I don't like it.
I'm thinking of like little buzz cut Petey when he's just like deadpan looking at the camera. I'm like, Frederick, I can see it.
I'm gonna call him Freddy 40. No. Anyway, yeah, the Canucks don't play as confident in front of Demko because they just leave him to do all the work.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's so fun being a Canucks fan because you just watch goalies lose all of their will.
I also find like as a whole, goalies are just like not as good as they used to be, like throughout the whole league, I want to say. Like I can think of like a handful of teams that have like a great goalie duo going on right now. And that's like, I feel like years ago, every team had a great goalie duo, or like at least most teams did. But now I can only think of like 5 off the top of my head kind of thing. So I don't know. I feel like it's just hard. I don't know. I'm like, kids don't want to be goalies anymore, maybe. But
it's expensive as hell. That's why.
Yeah,
I think it's also a problem with, I mean, it's not exactly a problem. It's more exciting. Scoring is up across the league. We've heard this over the past few years. It's not the dead puck era anymore. And I think that's contributing to goaltenders seeming worse. I mean, yeah, I feel like goaltenders' windows for their prime, though, are also, unless you're insane like Sergei Bobrovsky, your prime is so short. Because
that makes sense too.
It takes so much longer to develop. It takes so much, and there's so much more, I think, risk too when it comes to injuries and stuff like that. So yeah, EPD and DPD, it's so much more. Yeah, I mean, I think a part of that also, like good goalies are always gonna have off nights too. So there's that, but I mean, I watch the Rangers a lot. Shesterkin has not been good sometimes throughout the year, but he's still Igor freaking Shesterkin, so there's that. Like, even Connor Hellebuck will have a night once a month when he's human, so.
Yes, yeah. Which is crazy, because in my head, you're like, Connor Hellebuck is also, you wouldn't think he's in his prime. Like, without looking at the stats, obviously, from this season, but, like, I'm assuming age-wise, because I'm assuming he's older than me, but I don't know if I'm just making that up.
I don't actually know. I just feel.
Oh, he's like 31. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that could be your prime for goalies because you're like kind of seasoned, but I feel like that's also older for being in the league nowadays. But
I mean, like, I would say that's like prime age for a skater. But also because he's in that like top higher tier of goaltenders, I think he like gets a pass.
Yeah.
Somewhat. I mean, then there's also goalies that like play through when their like limbs aren't fully connected anymore, and they're still amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out Carey Price. Looks around my age, damn. Yeah, I mean, yeah. P should take after JT and call himself FE. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that has the same aura as JT.
Or just could we call him EP? Don't we? Well, that's his nickname, isn't it? EP40? Isn't that like
EP40?
I'm imagining that on a
PD.
logo of something, but I don't know what it is though.
He was alien for a while. I don't know. Let's just let them exist. They have the same name, but it's not like it's identity theft. They are just different humans. I mean, it could be identity theft, but EP40 does no EP25 decided to be a defenseman. So cool for him. Maybe Pettersson wants to be like JT when he grows up.
Yeah.
Damn. But yeah. I mean, the Canucks, to quote Jim Rutherford technically initially, if everything goes right with the playoff team, if everything goes right, the Canucks have an elite goaltending duo, but nothing can go right for the Vancouver Canucks. So, because Kevin Lankinen is very good, Thatcher Demko should be very good. He just hasn't really caught up there yet. Mm-hmm. And then Shelovs just needs a little bit more time to cook. He's still a baby.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Yeah, he's not like a child wonder. He's not like oh god. Was it Jordan Binnington that made his rookie debut? I mean, then again, maybe he made his rookie debut, like, he, like, was amazing during the playoffs, and then now he's, Jordan Binnington. Maybe that's a good thing that we avoid that by putting him back in the minors and getting some more development. Yeah. Did you guys see the Petterssons broke the hockey stat card? I did not see that. Did you see that?
Oh.
That is interesting. I'd assume because they have the exact same name, so it might be difficult to differentiate. But yeah, just use the 1998 edition or 2004 edition. And that's how I did. There's 6 years between them. You should 6? Yeah, that sounds right. All right. Before we get into a little bit more talking about the Canucks just up to this point, combine the two players. Well, I mean, it's not like DPD has any points yet, so Elias Pettersson's stats aren't exactly skyrocketing at the moment, but it'd be a bit more awkward if they were. It's just like, why does he have 600 goals? I don't think he has 600 goals. I'm hoping that is a made-up stat, because otherwise, I am sorry. Anyway, before we get into talking a bit more about what the Canucks are doing this year, looking for ways to help an upstart media company employing over 30 young journalists and analysts across Canada. If you have a few spare bucks kicking around, you should head to our Patreon page at patreon.com/thegameovernetwork. There you'll find multiple tiers featuring different rewards and goodies for helping us grow. There's extra access, exclusive looks behind the scenes, Discord benefits, merch discounts, opportunities to give us feedback, and you can join us for special shows live where you can interact with hosts as we launch more ways to improve your experience. If you're not able to spare a few dollars, we have a free tier available so you don't miss out. If you really want to help us, make sure to click like and subscribe on YouTube, rate us 5 stars on your favorite podcast app, and share our work on your social media of choice. That's patreon.com/thegameovernetwork for tantalizing goodies. Alrighty. So it's been mentioned a couple times so far. This is the first Canucks back-to-back win since December 1st. Should we be worried about that?
Maybe.
Maybe, just maybe.
That's crazy, I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean...
Like, and I think back, I don't think their schedule was that... Well, okay. Hockey teams are hit or miss. You can't, be like, oh, that's an easy game anymore, I feel. Sometimes you can, maybe...
Unless it's
San
Buffalo.
Jose against Chicago. Okay, yeah.
And then we lose against Buffalo by giving up the lead against Buffalo. I'm sorry. I'm still angry about that.
Because, yeah, I'm like, I don't know, did they have that much of a... That also just accurately represents the Canucks being so up and down, I feel, the two of this season. Just, win, loss. Okay, they did have a bad week in January there until they won against Toronto, but...
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to find our longest win streak so far, because this is very hard.
This is depressing to look at.
It's yeah, just a bit. Because, yeah, we had back-to-back wins. We beat Buffalo 4-3 in overtime in Buffalo. And then beat Detroit 5-4 in overtime in Detroit. And that was the last time we had back-to-back wins. Because then we lost to Minnesota in overtime. We beat Columbus on home ice. Lost to Tampa. Lost to St. Louis. Beat Florida. Lost to the Bruins. Beat Colorado. Lose in Utah. Lose in Vegas. Lose to Ottawa. Beat the Sharks. Lost to Seattle. Lost to Calgary. Beat the Kraken. Lose to Nashville. Lose to the Habs. Lose to the Caps. Lose to the Hurricanes. Beat Toronto. Lose to the Jets. Lose to the Kings. Beat the Oilers. Lose to the Sabres. Lose to the Oilers. Beat the Caps. And now we beat the Blues. That's how the Canucks season is going so far. I think the longest win streak we've had is like 4 games, which, like, it might be a lot for a team like the Sabres, but for the Canucks, it shouldn't be a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
I know, and looking at in December, the Boston loss, and then the week, like, they're all on the Saturdays. It was Boston, they lost 5-1. They lost 5-4 to Ottawa the week later, and then 5-4 to Seattle. And I'm like, there's so many big numbers up there, too. It's just, that's crazy. But also, that is just hockey nowadays. It's, like, high scoring more than ever, I feel. But lots of 5s in there.
Yeah, our longest win streak was 4 games, and that was in October.
Oh my gosh.
That was the Florida, OT, Philly, Chicago, all away, and then we came back and beat the Penguins 4-3 on home ice. That was our longest win streak, and that was the 3rd, 4th, 5th, the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th games of the season.
Oh my God.
Like, somebody needs to tell the Canucks that in order to get through a playoff series, you need to win 4 games. Because, sure, they've done that in a row, but in the last, like, say they went to 7 games, the last 7, they've lost 4 out of the last 7.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I think they've won 1 game out of their, or no, 2. I can't do math, but yeah. They get a win once in a blue moon. On paper, this team should not be, like, getting back-to-back wins every 2 months.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. That is, like, our first back-to-back win of the calendar year took a month to get. Do you have a good feeling about this team heading into a break, heading into the wild card race, heading into any of this?
If I see Kevin Lankinen in net, I feel like I do. If he's starting goalie, how many games do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's
6,
this week and then next week. Yeah.
Okay.
Which, I mean, it's the Preds who are struggling this year, but I feel like that's Lankinen's game regardless. The Stars, who are the Stars, they're pretty damn good. And can score a lot of goals. We host Detroit, who were playing well, and then they started dropping off, and they're not doing as well anymore. So the Yzerplan worked for probably 5 minutes, and then we host the Avs, which we did beat them on home ice before, and they are Rantanenless, so for the foreseeable future. I don't know, watch Marty Nate just get like a hat trick because he wasn't traded for some reason, honestly. And then we play in San Jose, and then we play the Leafs, and then we have no games for almost 2 weeks.
I feel like that's actually an okay schedule to try and get some traction going again. Dallas will probably be hard. I know the Detroit is in Calgary on the Saturday, so, like, I know it's not I know some teams, even though Detroit, well, they were in the West, but, like, now they're in the East, but I know some teams have trouble, like, coming to the Pacific part just because of the time change, which makes sense, I guess. So Maybe take advantage of that. Same with Colorado.
Alfred makes a good point. The Leafs and us, we play on a Saturday.
Yes.
And we beat the Leafs last time on a Saturday. That's our only Saturday night game, though. I think because, currently there's only 4 teams that are definitely most likely out of the playoffs. You could technically count the Preds still in it, but let's be honest here. They're 3 points back of Anaheim. So there's that. We have a non-playoff team. The team that is second in the Central only to Winnipeg, so that makes sense. And then we have a barely playoff team. I say that they're ahead of the Rangers. Oops. And they're tied with the Habs. I don't come for me, Habs fans, but the Detroit Red Wings are not touching the playoffs. Mark my words. Then the Avs, who... Where are the Avs right now? They're in a wild card spot. So that's another matchup. The Sharks, who are definitely not making the playoffs. And then the Leafs, who are the Leafs. So there's opportunity to get out of the next 6 games. Yeah, 6 games. Out of the next 6 games, there's an opportunity to get 12 points. How many points do you think Vancouver comes out with?
I'm like doing math in my head right now. Okay, so max is 12. I'm gonna say 9. Is that I feel like I'm a gambler though, but like I go with my heart a lot, okay? I'm gonna say 9.
That's optimistic.
I literally in my head I'm like, they'll lose to Dallas. That's what they have. And then we got 1 overtime in there. Don't know who, couldn't tell you who it is or what would happen, but that's it.
Very optimistic, I will say. I was like in my head I'm like 9 and I'm like, no, that's last year. I think we beat Nashville. I think we don't beat the Stars. But then again, we could get smoked by Nashville and then beat the Stars. There's that dichotomy too. I think we beat the Red Wings. I'm 50-50 on the Avs. I think we beat the Sharks. And I think we beat the Leafs. So, 9's doable. I think we're probably... Elfrin says 6 points. I think we're probably closer to that. I'll say 7.
Okay.
Just to throw in the extra OTL, because the Canucks love the OTLs this year. It is so in. It's so in for the season. Yeah, I think they get 7 points out of the next 6 games before they head off to Cancun or wherever. For most of the team, 4 of them have to go to Montreal and Boston. So they will pull an Abbey Canucks and win 8 games in a row. It's possible. The Abbey Canucks are absolutely on fire. Yeah, they're incredible to watch, honestly. And yeah, the Abbey Canucks, they give me hope when the Canucks don't. So there's that.
I know. I get so confused. I say this with a lot of different teams. Like, I don't think the Canucks are, we're struggling, but I wouldn't deem it this kind of struggling. But sometimes I'm like, why don't you just flip the AHL and the NHL team for a bit? Bring up a lot of AHL players, send down a lot of NHL players. I'm like, switch it up for a bit, get some vibes going. Especially if your team is good. If the AHL team is good. I know contracts are a thing, but
yeah, who cares about legal jargon,
Yeah, just do it.
I think the Canucks, that would be hilarious. That's why I'm kind of on board. If the NHL ever wants to start doing relegation, I think it would be hilarious to start sending whoever's last to the AHL, and whoever wins in the AHL send them send them up to the big leagues. That would be so funny. That would be so fun. Cause you wouldn't have all the stress of having to do paper transactions.
Yeah.
You would just do a trade. And I don't know. I don't know how it would work because, there's all these things in place. I mean, the Canucks Sports Entertainment also own the Abbotsford Canucks, so there'd be a bit difficulty. And also, you can't have two teams called the Canucks. Doesn't really work that way.
Yeah.
Would it be very hilarious? Yes. Would it work? No. Would it would be really funny though. I do like that idea. I think the Canucks were already starting to do that though, because they keep calling people up.
Yes, I know. I'm like, do they just like have so much transactions just because we're close to like Abbotsford just close to Vancouver, so we're just taking advantage of that?
I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. They had to deal with Utica for a
Yeah,
number of years,
that's
and that's across the continent, pretty much. I don't
Yeah.
know why they did that for so long. Like, I get it. Manitoba, you got kicked out there because the Jets were coming in. That's fine. But you stuck with Utica after the Heat left Abbotsford,
Yeah.
and there was no AHL team in Abbotsford. You left
Yeah.
them there. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really funny when they have to send them back, because I just imagine the players like halfway through traffic at like 264th on Highway 1. And then they get the notification that they're sent back, and they have to figure out how to get all the way back around the highway. I mean, that's also
That's funny.
putting NHL players saying AHL players live in Abbotsford, which I would imagine they don't. But it would be really funny if they did. There's like 5 things in Abbotsford, and the Canucks are one of them, and that's it.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say, and the team's one of them.
The team's one of them. There's a farm that has a good haunted corn maze, I think.
Yeah.
That's 2 things in Abbotsford.
There's an airport.
There's an airport. Yeah, I had a panic attack there. I was 14. It was fine. Castle Fun Park.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I haven't been there in years. It used to be such a vibe.
It flooded, and now the underground. Yeah, when all the floods happened here a couple years ago. If you don't know, BC News, just look up the 2021 floods. They're absolutely taking advantage of Abbotsford. Lucky these are mostly paper transactions, so they don't have to drive back to Abbey. Yeah, pretty much. Because
Air show. Yeah.
Oh, air show. Yes. I mean, does that tie into airport?
Yeah, maybe. What?
I don't know
One
what
time
else.
I remember I was at the courthouses in my hometown for a field trip, and they're like, "What should we have in Mission?" And I like raised my hand, and I'm like, "An air show?" And they're like, "We don't have an airport." I'm like, "So, like, figure it out. Give me an air show."
That's something I mean, it's so funny when like some places don't even have a regional airport too, because like Langley has one, Surrey doesn't have one. Surrey, the biggest municipality aside from Vancouver in BC, does not have an
I
airport.
don't even know where it would fit in Surrey. I feel though too.
I know there's a flying school that's like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's like off King George. I mean, I think it's still there. I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't know. Abbotsford is cheap gas, so there, you get another thing.
Yep.
The Highwayman pub is the 5th thing they have.
Oh my god.
I have not been there. I mean, Mission has the raceway park as the racetrack, so that's a cool thing that nowhere else has. There used to be one, but then Westwood Plateau turned it into a golf course.
We also, at one point, all the bridges crossing the Fraser River in the Lower Mainland were toll bridges, except for the Abbotsford Mission Bridge. But now none of them are toll bridges, though. So I guess that's good for everybody. But
yeah, I forgot what it was like driving to like Maple Ridge before the Golden Years Bridge was made.
I know.
Like, and also I remember when the Portman Bridge still had tolls on it. Like,
yeah, it's just crazy. Like,
I love the history of BC highways and stuff like that. Anyway, the Canucks. I think, yeah, going into this mini road trip. I mean, is it? Yeah, it is pretty mini. It's only 3 games, but they're doing some central visiting. Yeah, I think 7 points is the max that they get out. I will take 9 though. I like your optimistic picks.
I'm just a positive thinker, you know.
I am not, but I think they're playing a lot of teams at the bottom of the standings.
Yes, yeah. I feel
Statistically.
like this is like a decent schedule going into the break, actually. So
Yeah, going into the break. I mean, it's pretty easy going. I think the roughest team that we're playing is Dallas, because like you have
yeah,
Colorado, who is just in mourning, pretty much. You have
I know that's what I was gonna say. They're not okay.
they're going through it right now. And yeah, you have Dallas, and then I guess the other good team that you're playing in that stretch is, I mean, Colorado. We already talked about, Toronto, and it's Toronto.
I know. I was at the game where Toronto was in Vancouver last year, and the final score was like 6-4 for the Canucks, and it was
Mm-hmm.
crazy game. I loved it so much. I love high scoring games like that. But yeah, they can bring it. But also that was last year's Canucks, which are a bit different than this year's. But
You know what? They
right that
shut
way.
out the Leafs. They shut out the Leafs.
Yes, yeah,
So
okay.
I have faith. There's like that's the only time I think we've ever shut out the Leafs in Toronto. So should be an easy schedule unless it goes disastrous in Nashville. Honestly, the Canucks have the power to do that. So I would not put
And
it past
Nashville's
them.
been they've been really crazy, like wilding out. I feel like on the ice, like they've played San Jose twice in the last 2 weeks, and it's been crazy games where San Jose was up 5-0. I think at one point
Mm-hmm.
5-1, and then
Yeah.
they came back. Nashville came back to win. I don't know.
Yeah, I
They're
think that
wild. I
the
feel.
reverse also happened there when Nashville was up and San Jose almost came back, but I think San
Yeah.
Jose ended up losing that game anyway. But San Jose's still ahead of them in the standings, which is wild. Oh wait, no. No, this is never mind. That's bad. That's back. San Jose's never mind. I was wrong. I was looking at the stats from December. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
I was like, damn, Nashville has a 3-game OTL streak. And then I look at the points, I'm like, why do they only have 18 or 20 points? And I'm like, oh, wrong day. Yeah, the Nashville Predators have 43 points. They are in a 1-game losing streak, but I think they just had a win streak, if I'm not wrong. Okay, nope, still 1-game losing streak. What the heck? Yeah, they just snapped a 5-game win streak. So they are a little hot, but we can cool them down. All right, before we get into this last segment here, just wanted to remind you, if you're enjoying the show so far, you probably want more of this, right? Well, make sure to hit the like button on this video, click subscribe on our channel, and make sure you check the notification bell so you're alerted when we go live. And actually go live. Not just I press start streaming and the show just does not turn on. If you're listening to our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating or even write a positive review. If you really like us, make sure to follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You can find the Game Over Network on Blue Sky at thegameovernetwork.com, on TikTok and Twitter at GameOverNHL, on Instagram Threads, and LinkedIn at Game Over Network. Casey, where can the people find you on the social medias?
Like, how do I say my username in real life? On Instagram, I'm just like Casey, CASEYY, 2 underscores F. Here we go. And then on TikTok, I am also Casey with 2 Ys underscore 95. But yeah, those are my 2 main socials that I use. So
awesome. You can find me, obviously here on Game Over Vancouver. Also, at Kaja.may on TikTok and Instagram, I think. I know it's my Instagram. TikTok might just be Kaja May. Just search Kaja May, Kaja with a J. You'll find it. There's not a lot of us. You can also find us at thegameovernetwork.com, where you can sign up for our upcoming newsletter. So yeah. Okay, so this third period, I need to change the overlay. There we go. Recently there was a trade between, I mean, I'm sure it's been covered extensively. Mikko Rantanen is now a Hurricane. Along with Marty Necas and Jack Drury. I was like, it's not Kotkaniemi. Everyone thinks it was going to be Kotkaniemi. It's not Kotkaniemi. He's always in trade rumors, though. It's really funny.
yes,
Which is Because, like, I don't think he's ever been traded, actually. Like, he just got offer sheeted, right? So.
I think so too. Yeah, I think he just like signed with Carolina.
Yeah. Because I remember that was, like, an offer sheet, and people were like, what? That can't be. Oh my god. He's only 24.
He's a little guy.
He's a little baby.
He does look like one too.
Yeah, yeah, I thought he was way older. No, he literally just signed by. He's never been traded, but he's always in trade rumors. It's so funny.
That's also crazy that he's so young for like. I feel like he's been around for so long. Like I don't know. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I feel, but
I
okay.
mean,
Maybe he just was really young when he started. But
he was a 2018 pick, and he joined Montreal in July 28. Yeah, he was a 2018 pick.
okay, so yeah, he was so young.
He was just a baby. When did he, he was the first player born in the 2000s to play in one of the major professional sports leagues in the United States and Canada.
Gosh. That's so random.
In October 2018, when he was 18 years old. Oh, wow. That's, yeah, because an 18 pick, that would have been, 2018 was, like, end of 99 babies.
Mm-hmm.
That was the oldest, because that's when Quinn Hughes was picked. And he's October of 99. So, yeah, anyway. It was not Kokaniemi. He's not involved in this trade. But Taylor Hall and Mikko Rantanen get sent to the Carolina Hurricanes. Jack Drury, Marty Necas, and some picks get sent to Colorado.
Yeah, second round 2025 NHL draft pick and a fourth round 2026.
Okay.
Draft pick.
And then Chicago gets the short end of the stick. The third that they sent to Carolina, they get it back. And then they also retain 50% of Mikko Rantanen's salary. Mikko Rantanen is a free agent at the end of this year, presumably. And people are saying it was to make room for Cale Makar's upcoming contract because he's going to want big money, even though he's only the second best defenseman in the league. Behind Tyler Myers, obviously. Yeah. First of all, sorry?
I was just gonna say I saw a meme. I think it was like Connor Bedard looking for Mikko Rantanen like on the ice, and he's like, "Where is he?" Like, it looks like he should be on Chicago, but I guess he's not.
Poor Bedard. Honestly, he's struggling in Chicago. We should rescue him. Yeah. When do we play Chicago next? He should just get on the plane or hide somewhere in the arena and just wait. I think that would work. Just wait. We host Chicago Saturday, March 15th.
Oh my god.
Connor,
perfect.
If you need some place to hide, we can figure out a way. We can figure out just hide somewhere in a closet at Rogers Arena. I'm sure the team will come get you. Patrick will make you feel at home. It'll all be good. We don't need to tell Gary. It'll be fine. Anyway, yeah, Connor Bedard, if you're watching this. What else? What was your initial thoughts on the trade? The three-way trade?
Just kind of like, that's random. I feel like I'm like that with a lot of things though, because again, I'm such like a heart. I like think with my heart all the time, and I'm just like, no, do not take away teammates. And like Taylor Hall, it was so funny because I had just seen a TikTok of from the Chicago Blackhawks with him in it, and I was like, oh my god, Taylor Hall's a Chicago Blackhawk, and now he's not again. So just so crazy.
Taylor Hall, how many teams has he been on? He's been on the Edmonton Oilers, New Jersey Devils, Arizona Coyotes, Buffalo Sabres, Boston Bruins, Chicago Blackhawks, and now the Carolina Hurricanes. Mr. Worldwide.
I don't remember the Buffalo stint, but okay, that's crazy.
He played 37 games as a Sabre in 2020-21, and then was traded to the Bruins traded from Buffalo Sabres with Curtis Lazar, Canucks legend, for Anders Bjork and a round 2 pick in the 2021 draft.
Hmm.
So, spare parts. Yeah. Wow. That's wild. Yeah, he's played 1 game for the Hurricanes. Publix gated it. It was kind of random. I mean, I was literally driving home, and then I just see like a bunch of notifications go off on my phone, and I'm like, well, something's going on. I'm just gonna ignore that, and then, wait till it's safe to do so and check. And then, in comes big trade announcement, and I'm like, oh, wow, that's fun. And the rumors were that there was a trade between the Hurricanes and the Canucks that ultimately fell through.
Oh my god.
And that's why they went the route with the Avalanche, which, I mean, valid. Mikko Rantanen is a bona fide superstar. People were saying, though, would that package be for a Miller or for a Pettersson? Thoughts?
I don't know. My mind automatically goes to Pettersson, but I'm just literally comparing, like, I guess, young forwards to young forwards, because, like, JT Miller's a little bit older. But again, it's not all about age, but yeah, I think of a Petey, but
I mean, like, I feel like they have a lot of talent already on that roster, but they needed like a superstar. And I feel like Pettersson fits the superstar billing better than Miller would.
yes.
But I understand they would need some of the grit, especially from JT Miller, especially for a team like Carolina that's trying to get out of the second round, or they get out of the second round trying to win a game in the conference finals, basically. That's like where they're at this point. Because they lose in 4 2 years ago to Florida, and then Rod Brind'Amour goes and says, oh yeah, we weren't swept. No, you were swept, bud. I mean, they did have a game that went to, 4 OTs?
He's delusional, just like me, okay?
Like, the Canucks didn't lose this game. What do you mean? Like, that's me all the time. But, or, like, when my soccer team got knocked out of the MLS playoffs, I was just like, oh no, we win on aggregate. We win on aggregate. We had 4 goals, they only had 3. We win on aggregate, we go on to the finals, we win the MLS Cup. Let's go.
Whenever like my team's out early of the playoffs, I'm like, oh, the season just ended. Weird.
I
like,
know,
nobody
exactly.
won.
That was me in 2022. I mean, well, the Canucks were out, but the Rangers, I mean. I read Mr. Wilkins, I read one of the insiders say that we asked for Necas in the Miller trade and they said no. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I would also, Necas started really hot on the season, but has sort of trickled down. I feel like he still scores, he's still a very good player, but he's kind of streaky in a Jake DeBrusk sort of way. And I feel like Jake DeBrusk is also a player that we forget the Canucks have all the time. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it is more of a Pettersson package. It could have been a different package, though, if it was for Miller, I think. Because, like...
Yeah.
It's also kind of an odd return, I feel, for Rantanen. And I understand he's a free agent and you want Makar to get all the money. But the best you can do is a guy who scored a lot of goals at the beginning of the year and then tapered off. And Jack Drury, like, I feel like they could have gone a little bit heavier. But if they're just seeing him, I mean, they only got some back. It's kind of like when the Canucks traded Bo Horvat a few years ago. They didn't know that New York was going to extend him immediately, so they only got, in return, they got a pick, right? That sounds about right.
Was that one, and did we get Anthony Beauvillier in that too?
Yeah, we got Anthony Beauvillier, who we ended up trading again. Yeah, was a first rounder. Oh, yeah, so to trade Bo Horvat, we got Atu Ratu, who has been pretty good, both NHL level and AHL level. Anthony Beauvillier, who we ended up dealing to... Who did we send him to?
I want to say Chicago, but I don't know if I'm just making that up.
Chicago for a 5th rounder in the 2024 draft. And yeah, the pick that we ended up flipping to, because I'm like, round 1 pick in the 2023 draft. I was like, that was Tom
Mhm.
Wielander. Why does it say Axel Sandin Pillica? Because we sent that pick to Detroit for Philip Hronek, who played 3 games for the Canucks that year. I still do not like Philip Hronek trade, signing, whatever, but it makes sense, I guess. Yeah, Anthony Beauvillier was traded twice last year and then ended up getting signed as a free agent by Pittsburgh.
Yes, I
So
know he's been through a lot.
he keeps getting like, oh, he even had his draft rights traded twice before he was even drafted.
Oh my god, it was happening before he was even here.
His draft rights started with the Rangers.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
on March 5th, 2014, he wasn't drafted until 2015. So anyway, he was traded with he was traded for Marty St. Louis.
Oh,
So like his pick was traded
yeah.
with Ryan Callahan and a couple other picks to Tampa for Martin St. Louis, and a round 2 pick in the 2015 draft, which turned into Oliver Shillington.
I love seeing like what picks like turn into what players and stuff. Find that so interesting. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
His pick rights were then traded from Tampa to the New York Islanders for a round 2 pick in the 2015 draft. Mitchell Stevens, not sure who that is, and a round 3 pick in the 2015 draft, which turned into Anthony Cirelli.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
pretty good. Colton Roberts was the guy. Oh, apparently he plays for the Vancouver Giants in the WHL. Did not know that. The draft pick that we got from Chicago for Anthony Beauvillier on November 28th, we traded again on November 30th to the Calgary Flames with a round 3 pick in the 2036 draft for Nikita Zadorov.
Oh my god.
So, and then the pick rights were traded again from Calgary to San Jose. So, good luck, Colton. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I'm just waiting for the Canucks to do the massive break trade that we always get. Because I feel like that always happens. Last year was Kuzmenko. The year before it was the Kuzmenko Lindholm deal.
Yeah.
And the year before, the Bo Horvat trade also happened while I was driving.
Oh my god.
It was the same day I also met another former Canucks captain that was traded to the New York Islanders and Trevor Linden, so that was a fun day. But yeah, the big trades always happen when I'm driving, or I'm trying to sleep. I was trying to take a nap once, and that's when they signed JT Miller to the extension.
Yeah.
It was after the Aritzia warehouse sale. I had my reasons. Yeah. Heading into the Four Nations face-off break, do you think the Canucks make a deal with the Miller JT drama, or do you think they both survive to the trade deadline?
I think with my heart, I'm a positive person. They're both gonna be a Canuck at the end of the Four Nations and everything. Like, I don't know. It's so hard. I also was thinking the other day, I'm like, okay, the last like couple of years, I feel like the Canucks go through realms and us fans go through realms of like blaming the coach. I feel like I was at one of the games where they were chanting fire Travis Green. And then I've been at one of the games where they're screaming about Bruce Boudreau and they love him and they're like, oh yeah, it was Bruce, there it is. I'm like, what would they say? Bruce, there it is. And it's always around this time because I feel like it was just the anniversary of like Bruce Boudreau coaching his last game.
Yep.
Like just a few, like within the last few days. So
Yep.
like in my head, I'm like, they don't want to blame Rick at this point. I almost wonder, I'm like, are we just finding things to blame? Like it on. I guess you have to, but like I find coach turnover is crazy in all the NHL right now anyways. They always just blame the coach, but I feel like it's just like if not blame the coach, then who do we blame? I feel like we're just kind of going off of JT Miller and PD things. So I'm gonna say that they're both gonna stay a Canuck, but
I agree with that, honestly, because with the Canucks, I feel, yeah, and it was like, um, yeah, I think last week or last like Tuesday or something was like the 2-year anniversary of Bruce Boudreau's final game as a Canucks head coach.
mhm.
People always make the thing like a new coach is not going to fix this core because they've gone through, this would be the fourth coach if they get rid of Rick Tocchet.
Yeah.
Travis Green was forced out because, I mean, yeah, his team wasn't doing so hot. It was also due to Jim Benning just being an absolutely horrible GM for a decade, almost a decade. And he kind of bore the brunt of that. Like how many coaches did Jim Benning go through? Like,
Yeah.
put that in perspective. I mean, I think it was only 2, but let's forget that. I mean, Travis Green, he's doing something right with the Senators this year. He's not a bad coach. He's not a bad coach. He just got screwed over. He got the team to the playoffs for the first time since 2015 in the 2020 bubble series. The team unraveled in 2021 during like the COVID season. I mean, partially to blame for that is Adam Gaudette, but that's another conversation. Yeah. And then we have Bruce Boudreau, who comes in, and we almost make the playoffs his first year, but he's not management's guy. So he gets replaced with Rick Tocchet, who is management's guy, and Bruce Boudreau is also blamed with the Canucks' lack of goaltending, even though he has really no control over that. Yeah, because he had his goaltending tandem for most of his tenure that was left as a Canucks head coach was, because Demko goes down, it was Spencer Martin and Colin Delia, which, let's just say, is not elite. Like, of course, they're both NHL goaltenders by technicality, but, like, it's not the same as having Thatcher Demko bail you out time and time again.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then you get into Rick Tocchet now, who had an amazing first full year. He had an easier schedule, first of all, in the second half of the season after he took over for Bruce Boudreau. He has an amazing first year. He wins the Jack Adams, and then this year rolls around, and they face adversity for the first time, it feels like. And it's just like, what is going on? He's so stuck in his system. He's so stuck in his ways. And we're blaming 2 players not able to talk to each other. Allegedly. This is all allegedly. Both players have said it's really a non-issue. Tocchet and Quinn have, like, said they're working through it. It's all, like, allegedly is throwing up in the air. I feel like I'm in some kind of, like, YouTube video essay about some crime or something when they have to say allegedly 1,500 times. But this is all alleged beef. Like, sure, they fought each other, they got into an argument at practice or something. So did Connor Garland and Dakota Joshua last year, man.
Oh my
god. They got a whole ass fight during preseason, like during like training. They're fine. They were part of the best third line last year. Like, they're besties. PD and JT, I feel like it's because they both have such a high cap hit. Both aren't performing to the standards of what they've been placed under. Like, both have 100-point seasons. PD had a Calder. PD has all of this, like, history, and now he's dealing with underlying issues. Tendonitis just doesn't go away just like that. Miller obviously also takes a leave of absence. He's not performing as well as he did last year when he finally hit the 100-point mark. There's still, like, Pettersson's kind of just entering his prime years. JT Miller's sort of hitting the plateau, unless he's like Joe Pavelski and just keeps running for another half decade. Joe. Anyway, yeah, so there's these 2 players, and they're pitting them against each other. It's kind of like, I mean, it's not at all like this, but it's kind of like when they pit 2 pop girlies against each other.
Yes.
like it's kind of like the Katy Perry Taylor Swift drama
Yeah.
of the early 2010s. Like it's just like that.
We just need, yeah, it's like we just need something to like justify this, and this
Mm-hmm.
is what we went with, and people are running with it. So
Like we're ignoring injuries to our best players. We're ignoring the fact that our goaltenders are playing at 85%. We're ignoring
mhm,
the fact that we're so stuck in systems that we don't know how to score. We're ignoring the fact that we don't know how to put the puck on the goddamn net. We're ignoring all
mhm.
of this.
Yep.
And we're just like, oh, these two hate each other, so that's why the team. Also, we're ignoring that if this is true, that they hate each other and there's a whole, like, World War III going on in the Canucks locker room, the coach is so out of control with his team, like he's completely lost the room. So we're ignoring that fact as well,
Yeah.
if it is that big of an issue.
Yes.
And we're placing the blame on these two, we're placing the blame on the divas rather than the industry. Sorry, I just hit my mic, but yeah, that's kind of like what the energy is. I don't know.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's great. I love that. I love your takes on that because I'm still like, I'm sorry, was this ever proven? Why are we still talking about it like a month later?
I know, like, and like past, like Bruce Boudreau said that there was some tension, and like I get it. You're gonna have tension. You're not gonna like all your coworkers or like classmates or something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
I've had tons of one-sided beef with classmates, but um, at the same time, they're not like it's not like on Ted Lasso they fight in the middle of the field. Like
Yeah.
that scene actually happens in the show. I mean, obviously fictional show, fictional team, everything. Um, but yeah, it's not like that's happening. We're just going off of speculation. And it's really
Yes.
just like sure, did Pedersen maybe take JT's dancers? Maybe. I don't really know. I wasn't on that tour. Like that's not really my business. They just need to dress what did they dress up as in that one? It's in You Need to Calm Down. It's a burger and fries.
Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm like, I feel like it's like food. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I was a Taylor girl the whole time, but still it was overblown then, and the Pedersen Miller stuff is overblown now.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I think they both survive to be Canucks at the trade deadline. I'm worried about Brock Besser, but then again, if he isn't a Canuck for life, I think yeah.
Because even Brock hasn't been performing like he did last year. So like, not that I want to pin things on these players ever,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't hear his name like as much as you hearing Petey and Miller right now. But
I think he makes half of Besser's salary. Nope, Besser
yeah.
makes half of Pedersen's salary. Jesus. Um, I feel like that's also it. And also
Mhm.
with Besser, I feel like people understood his injury more in a sense because
Yeah.
it was so blatant what Tanner Jeannot did when
Oh
he
yes. Yeah. Oh my
concussed
god.
him.
Yeah.
So
That makes
yeah,
sense.
I feel like there's less attention on those players because there's all the negative attention has gone to Pedersen and Miller
Yeah.
over because Quinn Hughes is the crux of the leadership group, right? And they're the two alternates. So they're like the big three.
Yeah.
And then there's the other players like the Brock Bessers, like the Jake DeBrusks, like I don't want to say the Thatcher Demkos, like who are not performing as well as they should be, but they're still not getting as much slack for it in a
Which
sense.
also, I don't know. I kind of like in my head, JT Miller can handle all this. I hope Petey can too. I feel like his name's always getting is it dragged through the mud?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dragged through the mud is how I would say that.
Yeah.
So Petey's probably used to it too in Vancouver. So like maybe I don't know, because I'm like I don't want anybody to say anything mean about Brock Besser ever or Connor Garland ever. If these two can handle it, okay. But like it's just getting out of hand, I feel too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely gone a little too far. Um and it's not even like we have a mascot that can threaten people. We just have Finn. We don't have a Gritty. Um we need a Gritty. I don't know why that's what my brain went to. But yeah. Brock Besser, please stay a Canuck. Patrick Alvin, please. I will pay ungodly amounts of money for tickets if you just let Brock Besser stay a Vancouver Canuck. That man
I also do think...
Sorry?
No, go ahead. Go. Sorry. I was just going to say something about Brock, but I'll say it after you're done.
Okay.
After you're done your point.
I will pay ungodly amounts of money for tickets. If Brock Besser is still a Canuck, that man should be a Canuck for life. You cannot convince me otherwise. He's the longest tenured Canuck currently. Please, Patrick, please let me have this one thing in my life. If I have to live in Vancouver, you should let me have 1 ounce of joy. Continue, sorry.
I do think Brock's name is always up in trade talks too, though. Even when he's performing great, he's always talked about.
Because, like, if he's not performing well, it's like, oh, we need to get rid of him. He's such, like, an anchor on the wing. And then when he is performing well, it's just like, oh, well, we need to sell high. Like, shut up.
Can we just be happy?
Yes! Can we not have joy? Can we not, like, do you not feel joy? Do you not feel happiness? Do you not feel... Anyway, I also, I get like that. I remember I bought my first Canucks jersey with my own money. I bought it. It was a Brock Besser black skate a number of years ago. And I bought it, and I go home after the game, and I turn on my TV, and I go to YouTube, and the second video recommended to me is NHL trade rumors, and Brock Besser is photoshopped as a Minnesota Wild player. And I was so sad.
Triggered.
I was like, I just got this because I bought it, and I was like, this is my good luck charm so he doesn't get traded. And he wasn't traded. And it worked.
For me, it would be bad. It's a lot of times it's bad luck if I either get the jersey or get their t-shirt. Like, my first one was my dad was at a Canucks game when I was younger, and he calls me. He's like, "What?" This was back when jerseys were a decent price, I guess, because my dad would never buy me a jersey now. He's like, "What jersey do you want?" And I'm like, Marcus Naslund. Next season, Marcus Naslund is on the Rangers? Like, what? It happens so often. I'm so unlucky with those things.
My jerseys that I got that are still, like, active players, like, on the Canucks, I mean, like, I have a Besser, I have a Pettersson, which it was still kind of up in the air before he re-signed. That's what I felt when I bought a Kuzmenko jersey. Ooh. That's it. Like, I have a Luongo jersey, but it was my dad who got it, and it was just after he was traded too. And I have a Burrows, but I bought that like 2 years ago, so it's not like he even is an active NHL player anymore. And then I have an Ovechkin, just because it's Ovechkin. And then I got a Luke Shen, obviously, but, like, it was a player-worn one, and he got traded later on. But that was for the betterment for him. And you know what? That's okay. I'll allow that. And then I have a Matthew Tkachuk Calgary Flames. But I bought that on sale because he was already traded to Florida, and it was $80. Okay. So I had my reasoning. No. It was like the 2018-19 one with, like, the black and stuff like that. I prefer that.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my god, those ones are... And the white C, right? Is it that one with the... Does it have a white C on it? Because those ones are nice. Their blasty ones are nice here. Too. But...
yeah.
I bought 2 t-shirts, like, I guess people call them jerseys, like just the shirt with the name and number on the back. And it was like Ryan Graves on the Colorado Avalanche and Nolan Patrick on the Philadelphia Flyers. And I feel like literally a week after getting them, Nolan Patrick is like, he was a Predator for 6 seconds. And then he's traded to Vegas. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? And Ryan Graves is gone. And I'm like, this is horrible.
Ryan Graves. Nolan Patrick doesn't even play anymore, though, right? Yeah. No. Did he ever play suit up for Vegas for a game?
He did. He did. I do remember watching a couple of games. And then, I can't think about him for too long because I'll cry. But
okay. That's fair. That's okay. I mean, I have a Travis Dermott jersey somewhere, but it's a Leafs one.
I love him.
I also have a Matthews Leafs jersey, so there's that. But it's...
I have one too.
It's the reversible, like, Justin Bieber one.
Oh my god! You want to know the player I have of that jersey? Justin Hall. because he is my man. He is my guy. I love him so much. Well, when I was at the Leafs game last year or 2 years ago in Calgary, they're like, "Why would you buy a Justin Hall jersey?" I'm like, "Because I love him." Like that was like me. I'm like, "I love him." I'm like, what are you talking about? He's amazing. He's an icon.
That's honestly, like, I was about to say, I'm like, girl, but I get emotionally attached, so it's fine.
So I even like look him because they're in Calgary this Saturday, and I want to go see him as a Detroit Red Wing, and I'm like, okay, like I still look him up on Twitter, and people say he's still bad at hockey, and I'm like, but he's nice.
I mean, it's the Detroit Red Wings. Everyone on the roster is bad at hockey. That's me with like some teams. I hate the team so much, but like there's this one player that I just love for no reason.
Even just like baseball, I ordered baseball jerseys this past summer for the first time. I ordered a Dalton Varsho jersey. I ordered them from like a Chinese website because baseball jerseys are very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Dalton Varsho and Kevin Biggio. And while Kevin Biggio's on the way, jersey's on the way to me, he is traded from the Toronto Blue Jays. And I'm like, this is so bad. I shouldn't even buy jerseys. Especially baseball is crazy. Baseball is like crazier than hockey and all, but I don't know.
I mean,
I still buy them.
That's valid. I don't know.
Like when you like I have a Predators jersey of Matt Duchene. So last year I got like yellow duct tape and I put it over. I like fixed it. I like covered the 9 and made it an Alex Carrier jersey, who now that doesn't even work. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing with this Nashville jersey. Like,
I mean, you can get it stripped. I think that's a thing, but
maybe. I love the ones that are like the nameplates. And like I feel like it was like 18 for the Canucks has been worn so much, and somebody's is like so long, and they have like, because I know Jason Dickinson, I know another player that we should not name really, and then like a whole bunch of other
Studnicka.
18s like have been what?
Studnicka. Jack Studnicka.
Oh yes, yeah, and then he was recently, and it's just like so many 18s, and the guy's just putting a different nameplate on every one of the 18s he has.
Yeah, wait, I'm looking. We've had 32 players wear number 18.
I know Steve Bernier back in the day wore 18. Because I was like, what was that? I wonder what this guy's 18 jersey was originally before.
Igor Larionov wore it. Yeah, Steve Bernier. Chris Tanev apparently wore it in 2011. For 1 year. But yeah, it was Sam Lafferty was the most recent.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like there's somebody after Studnicka. I can't remember. Yeah, Sam Lafferty.
So crazy. Jerseys are just crazy. They're expensive. And I buy them on an impulse all the time. I was at the Capitals game a few years ago, and I had a sign for TJ Oshie and everything. And then I go to the gift shop. I come back, and I like have a Connor Garland black skate jersey. Because like, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I mean,
or like in playoffs last year, I got a JT Miller jersey. I was like, why?
I mean, that's like me every time I go to the team store. I'm like, don't buy a Quinn Hughes. Don't buy Quinn Hughes. I don't have a Quinn Hughes jersey. I need one.
That's good self-control though, probably. For now.
It's not self-control. I'm just broke as hell.
Okay.
Before we go into the last like Q&A segment here, put some questions into the chat for Casey and I to discuss. And while you're doing that, what better way to support something you love than by repping it on yourself? Game Over's apparel line has dropped with 3 unique lines. Whether you feel the nostalgic pull of our retro skater design, want to make a statement with our established design, want to wear your love for goalies proudly with our live and die by the goalie design, or if you just need another coffee and a toque to get through the winter, we have you covered. Designed by Brady Chalice from Game Over Winnipeg, use the QR code on stream now and take a look through our apparel store and help us rebuild local sports media in Canada while repping your community. Alrighty. Yippee. Okay. Yeah. We've been going on the show for over an hour and a half, which is honestly maybe a new record for Game Over Vancouver.
Vibes are good, okay?
We have back-to-back wins for the first time in 2 months. Let's go. We're winning the cup. Plan the parade. We're going down Griffith's Way. That's a street. I don't
I
know
think so.
downtown Vancouver freaks me out because I don't do well with street names. I grew up in Surrey. We don't have those there. So, we have Griffiths Way is one side, Pacific Boulevard, Pat Quinn Way. See what happens when we start winning? Expo Boulevard. Yeah. Yeah, we start winning and it's good and everything's fine and everyone's happy. Well, marginally. Griffiths Way. Oh, that's the street I jaywalk on all the time. It's between Rogers Arena and BC Place.
Yeah, okay.
That it makes sense. I'm not going all the way to the crosswalk on one side for that. I'm
Yeah.
just booking it. No one's back there anyway. I gotta get to the Whitecaps game because I'm probably late. Yeah, that happened a number of times. I'm impressed with the Canucks' effort tonight. They learned how to win, I think, in regulation. They won in regulation for the first time not on a Saturday this year. That is, yeah. This is their 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This is their 13th game of 2025 calendar year. It's their 5th win. That's I'm not very good at math, but that doesn't seem very good.
No. 13 games also sounds like a lot for it being only the 27th, but
yeah, and there's only there's 2 back-to-backs in there. Because there was this Seattle away and then Nashville home where they had the same lineup. And I understand you probably don't want to put Archer Shilovs in, but Kevin Lankinen 2 nights in a row. Like, I was at that Nashville game. Eric Branstrom was there in warm-ups. He was not in the lineup that night. I remember seeing him in warm-ups because I was trying to get my jersey signed by Luke Shen, and I'm like, oh wow, Eric Brandstrom's playing. That's good. And then he didn't play because Rick Tocchet hates me personally.
Non-existent.
He's still in the AHL. Still is. They call up Williams Pettersson, they don't call up Eric Brand. I don't know what he said to Rick Tocchet, but I don't know. He deserves another chance. And then the other back-to-back was Carolina and Toronto. So, that's that. Because I feel like the Canucks did not have a lot of back-to-backs to start the year, but they have a lot to end the year.
I know, and it looks like, well, even when we were looking back on the schedule, there's some, like in December, they had like a 4-day break between, oh wait, that's over Christmas. Okay. But like, I feel like they have a 3-day break between like New York at home and then Ottawa on the road. I feel like there's a lot of random like 3-day between Chicago and Pittsburgh. But I don't know. It's just like I find there's quite a few schedules that are like that with it. It's like I look at the Dallas Stars schedule and I'm like, you guys have it pretty easy for literally playing in Finland and being gone for a week during the season. Like, and then they just like still have so many breaks throughout the rest of the season. It's just crazy how the schedule works out sometimes. And
the Canucks, so they, in the final 2 months, let's say, give or take, of the regular season, they have 4 back-to-backs left.
Their March looks kind of crazy, I feel.
Oh, yeah. They have 4 back-to-backs left, and they're both back-to-backs, if that makes sense. They have two days in between, but they have back-to-back Vegas and Utah, 2 days off, and this is right after they return, too, from the Four Nations face-off break.
And on the road, too.
Yeah, on the road, Vegas, the next day, not even 24 hours after puck drop in Vegas, they play again, 5 p.m. PST in Utah. They have 2 days off, back-to-back Kings and Anaheim. And then they have 2 days off again, I believe. Or no, just 1 day off, and then they play in Seattle. And then they have 3 days off, play at home, at home, at home, at home. March 11th, they host the Habs. And then the next night, they play in Calgary.
In Calgary, yeah.
And then they have back-to-back home games, one against Chicago, one against Utah. And I think that's it for. Oh no, they have another back-to-back. They have 5 back-to-backs actually, because they have one the first weekend of April.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a 1 p.m. start time on a Saturday with the Anaheim Ducks. That does not feel right.
Yeah, that's random. I'm like, what else is going on? I went to the Grey Cup this year, and I remember looking, being like, "Hi, hey, like the Canucks play Nashville at." Oh, I think they were supposed to do a. Did they start at 5? They were gonna do like an earlier start or something, and I was like, logically, this does not work out for the city of Vancouver. But
It's
okay, a week after
mhm.
Taylor Swift was here too, like this is
Oh,
very logical
it
planning.
was a no, it was a 7 p.m. start.
Okay, so yeah,
So,
they were supposed to start at 5. And then they changed it to 7
okay.
because I remember looking at the beginning of the season and being like, why are they playing early on the day of the Grey Cup?
Mhm.
Where are you gonna park? That's my
I
that's my
no,
question.
literally. I think also with the you also brought up like Taylor Swift. The Canucks played 2 home games when Taylor Swift was here.
So
They
crazy.
like
My dad was like offered tickets to the game. He's like, I'm not going near there.
yep.
Like,
Mhm. Like the Canucks, and that was right after they had just finished their 6-game road trip.
hmm
Like when they had just finished a 6-game road trip. They get 2 days off, and then they play Columbus on the 6th, which is the first night of the Eras Tour at BC
yeah.
Place across the street. Like it was, yeah, they had two games, and I understand. I think the Tampa game was at 1 p.m. Yeah,
Yes,
4
I do
p.m.
remember that
Yeah, 4 p.m. EST,
being
so
early.
1 p.m. our time.
hmm
Yeah. Um, but the Columbus game was just, regular old 7 p.m. And there's like, the Eras Tour across the damn street.
Yeah.
And and it's not like the NHL schedule comes out in what, July? August?
Yeah.
Around there? The the Eras Tour dates for Vancouver were announced last November.
Yes. Yeah.
So, for
It's
a
just
year and a
so
month in advance, and you decide to let the team, I get it, you're trying to capitalize off of tourism money from the concert next door. Also, it's a giant ass concert next door, bruv.
yes.
Did you see the crowds of people standing outside of BC Place?
I
Not
know.
even, like, it's impossible to get downtown, and they still have the 2 games. It made no sense to me.
When I was at the Grey Cup, though, there were people in front of me that literally purchased tickets to the Canucks game while they were at the Grey Cup. So I'm like, that's cool. Wish I
I'm,
hadn't that much money, but that's cool.
I mean, I've done the double whammy before of going to something at BC Place and then going to Roger Green. Like I've done Whitecaps at BC Place had a 1 p.m. game and the Canucks had a
Mhm.
7 p.m. game. So I
Yeah.
had time to spare in between. I've done that before. But it just seems like a lot. And at the same time, yeah, like you said, where are you gonna park?
I
SkyTrain
know.
must have been a mess.
Yeah, I
Like
couldn't.
I don't like the
Crazy.
SkyTrain enough. The SkyTrain is cool. Don't get me wrong. Awesome innovation. Very cool. If Princess Diana trusts it, I trust it. At the same time, it gets crowded enough after one game night. If it's
hmm
a concert and a game night, if it's 2 game nights,
Yeah.
you're done. You're
Yeah.
screwed. It's full as hell. I remember the night when it was Christine Sinclair's last game. There was 53,000 people in BC Place
Yeah.
for Team Canada, and then next door the Canucks were playing the Devils. Same night, trains were packed for hours after the game
hmm
because people were still downtown.
Yeah,
So,
no, because I remember that because that would have been the Hughes Bowl. I do remember that
mhm,
because I was like, Vancouver must be crazy right now.
yeah,
I
and
don't
that
know, logical thinking, but like,
yeah, that was the game the Canucks were down by a lot of goals and then came back and tied it 5-5, and then Jesper Bratt, I'm pretty sure, scored to make it 6-5, so the Canucks lost in regulation. But yeah, I remember that because the Canucks were down quite a bit to New Jersey, and I was at the Sinclair game next door, and so yeah, it was the Hughes Bowl. But they finished around the same
mhm.
time too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Anyway, event planning needs to, some work needs to be done. Like I know Vancouver's the no fun city, but we need to have some quorum or decorum. I don't know. I skipped past the court parts on Law and Order. Anyway, I think that's enough to end the show tonight. I almost said any last words. That's really dark. Any last remarks?
No, just that the Canucks will get 9 points in their next, however, 6 games. So
I admire your faith in this team. I wish I had any hope left. Yeah. I think max 7, but we shall see. We will meet again. We should reconvene the February 8th show. It's a crossover,
Yeah.
but you should come on and we should discuss how maybe you were close, maybe I was close. Maybe we prices righted it and it gets to 8 or something. That could also happen. Yeah. Thank you for joining me tonight, Casey. I have been Kaja. When Petey gets traded to Buffalo.
Oh.
That's very
I
random.
just got the ick.
What are we getting back? If it's not Rasmus Dahlin, I don't want it.
I saw that Dylan Cousins apparently was on the trading block, but that was with
Okay.
somebody from the Flames. But I saw that and I was like,
He's mid. He's mid as hell. Like, and people were talking about, oh, we need Bowen Byram. We don't need Bowen Byram. Bowen Byram also wants to be a power play quarterback. We don't need him. The Canucks have broken me. Yep. Me too. Me too. Like, that's why I'm like this. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us tonight on an extended episode of Game Over Vancouver. The Canucks won 5-2 against the St. Louis Blues. Tage Thompson, he has a massive contract and he's overrated. He's not coming here. The Vancouver Canucks beat the St. Louis Blues 5-2 and are 1 point back of the Calgary Flames for the final wildcard spot in the Western Conference. Yeah, the Game Over will return in 2 nights' time when the Canucks face off against the Nashville Predators. And that's all for tonight, folks. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Game Over, and we'll see you on Wednesday night. Peace out.